Mark and welcome back for this video. I'm starting this new series where I will make a short video about everything that happens in my life as a solo entrepreneur. I'll go over things that I built like softwares and products. I'll go over marketing things that I tried that worked and didn't, the revenue that I earned, and everything else like if I travel or nice books that I read, workouts, stuff that I learned. I'll try to share everything and be as transparent as possible. So I will share the good parts, but also the parts I struggle with. So if you like this series, please let me know so I do it more. Oh, and also here is my story really quick. I got fired 2.5 years ago as a software engineer, and I discovered the community of developers building tiny startups in public on Twitter, meaning that solo developers like you and I who have no ambition to build a unicorn, to raise money for VC, or even to have any employee, just building their tiny little product. And I fell in love with the mindsets, so I started to build my own project. And today, 2.5 years later, I have grown a little audience of 80,000 people on Twitter, where I also met a bunch of friends there. This is actually the t-shirt from one of my Twitter friends. I also built 21 projects and currently I have 10 streams of income, and in average my salary is around $50,000 per month. So I'm going to share everything that happens in the month of March. Let's go. All right, so now let's talk about work. I created a new very tiny software called Pop-up. The idea is to increase the website conversion rate by displaying pop-up notifications. It almost started as a joke. The inspiration came from another product of mine called Zenvoice. One of my friends, actually the friend that gave me the t-shirt, Dan, told me to make it a product, and there it was. I spent 3 days building it. I used AI heavily in order to build the software. I'll share a link somewhere here where you can see the video on how I built the product really fast. And I launched it without any expectation, and 24 hours later it made $1,000, and about 2 weeks later it was at $2,500 in revenue. It's almost pure profit. So it was overall pretty nice, a very interesting experience, and it also gets results for people. I've seen a lot of customers coming back to me that says they love the product and it's working well for them. So a tiny experiments that turned out to be a good thing. All right, and so far the product that brings the most revenue to my income is ShipFast. It's a boilerplate for developers to ship startups faster, and I got a testimonial from a customer who made $2,600 in 9 days, and this is probably the biggest testimonial like revenue wise from a customer that shares the revenue publicly. Just as a comparison, this took me years to reach that point. I was stuck at $1,000 per month for so long, so big kudos to him. I also shipped a new component for the boilerplate called Without. It's a tiny component that people would typically use under the hero section of their website to show what it is to live without the product they're selling and to live with it. It's like basically a before after, and this is also really good to improve website conversion rate. And I usually get inspiration from all the other products that I make in order to get inspiration for ShipFast components, so I know what's working and what's not working. I also added a new feature for Zenvoice, my little software for Stripe users to generate invoices for their customers without paying the Stripe fee. Now it displays the Stripe account name when the email is being sent. About 2 months ago, I did a little experiment with AI and SEO. So I have a product called LogoFast, which is a free logo maker. It has a little bit of AI in it where if you want a logo for your business, you could describe your business ID. The AI will reply with the icon that would fit and the colors that would fit, and it will suggest you 3 logos. When the user clicks on one of the 3 suggestions, it will save the logo in a database, and my server will create an HTML page optimized for Google in order to rank. And a few weeks ago, Google started to rank all those pages. So I have generated now almost 3,000 logos. So I have 3,000 pages that are now indexed by Google, and I hope that these pages will rank. Hopefully, if it happens, it should happen within 3 to 6 months. I will definitely report the experiments, but I think it's pretty fun to see how AI plus a little bit of a human touch could create those valuable HTML pages that could potentially rank on Google. I have 21 products and 7 are making money. And so I sometimes get drowned into data. Which app should I focus on? Where should I spend my time and attention? And I found a new metric that really helps me to decide which is worth my time. It's the KPI is the revenue generated per unique visitor. So if a product gets 1,000 unique visitors and generate $1,000, this is a $1 per unique visitor. As a matter of comparison, my best product, ShipFast, gets 93 cents per visitor, and my worst conversion product is By Dispute, which gets 0.6 cent per visitor. It's very simplified. There are opportunities for some mistakes in there, but overall, I found it really helpful and very clear on where to put my attention on. I also did a podcast with Arvid Kal. He's like the father of solo entrepreneur. He's a really nice person. I will link to the podcast somewhere in here if you want to listen to it. We go over the addiction of building apps and all those kind of things.
Failed startups in the past, and that would drive my mind crazy. I would spend a year building a product that nobody would ever want.
And finally, probably the biggest highlight of the month work-wise was YouTube. I have been making one video per week, every week since January this year. And my channel was around 5,000 to 6,000 followers. Most of the people were probably watching from my audience on Twitter. Nothing was really happening. And suddenly YouTube decided to take one of my videos and pop it up. And it's crazy. In 6 days, my channel went from 8,000 followers to 15,000 followers, which is absolutely crazy to me. My channel was already monetized, but it was making $2 to $3 per day, which is not crazy. And now it's making about $40 to $50 per day, which is here in Bali, it's like a living. This could pay the bills. So this is overall absolutely crazy. It's also the first time for me to outsource a task. I do everything solo, from product building to marketing to customer support to legal things. And I hired someone to make those videos. So let me know what you think about them. All right, now a little health update. I surf every day about 2 hours, and 6 months ago I hurt my back. I have some back pain in the bottom, and one of my friends, actually the same friend who gave me the t-shirt and who told me to create the Poop-Up startup, gave me a pull-up bar. And so I do pull-up and chin-ups every day, and also bar hang to flatten my back. And this is actually really helpful. It has eased the pain to a point where I almost don't feel it anymore. And my wife and I are trying a new experiment where we do not eat any food after 5 p.m. and we go to bed at 10 p.m. And this is working really well. We've tried this for the past 10 days and we have a very good restorative sleep. I also bought a ring, the Aura ring sleep tracker, a couple months ago, and I got rid of it. It was nice, but I felt anxious about getting the perfect sleep score. And ironically, it would trick me and make me anxious about it and get a worse sleep. So I got rid of it and my sleep is better. Okay, now a little life update. I was reading the book called Same as Ever by Morgan Housel. It's a book about things that never change in the world. It is a really good book for anyone, whether you are a developer, entrepreneur, whatever. This is a book that will teach you how the brain works. It's a lot of psychology. It helps understand how people behave. It's very interesting. My wife and I also went to Taiwan for 2 weeks. We would break our home routine every month or two and go to a different country in Asia. We love Taiwan. We have a new routine there. You're a star. You're Hollywood famous. So we would wake up around 6 a.m. and then we would go straight to a workout after drinking a coffee. We always work out together, so it's easier to find the motivation to get things done. Then we would do a little stretch, have a healthy breakfast together around 7:30, 8 a.m. And then we would both go on our computers and work for 4 hours straight, where we stay offline. So no Twitter, no emails, just basically most of the time coding or making those videos, writing my newsletter, but like purely 4 hours of focus. Then we'll close the computer for the day and we rent a scooter and we would just go around places, and wherever this is. We're boring tourists. We don't do any specific places we want to visit. We just get lost with the scooter or by walking, and this is pretty good fit for us. We usually finish the day with a 1 hour to 30 minutes walk. You got a new friend?
What do you want? If I stop, what do you want? Where on?
And then we come back home, take a shower, and sometimes watch a movie and go to bed and start the exact same day the day after. And in Taiwan, we also met a friend from Twitter, and I love the fact that now we can find connection, interests online, and then meet in real life. Now let's talk about revenue. I made $83,212 in March 2024 from 10 sources of income. I'm still running solo, although I outsource a few tasks like the video editing. Here is one fun fact. I've been sharing my revenue on Twitter for the past 2.5 years, and this is my revenue in March 2023. Back then, I made $1,000 from my product, and this month I earned 83 times my salary back then. That's absolutely crazy. I guess that's why entrepreneurship is so addictive and probably the power of showing up every day. Now let's break down the revenue for these startups. First, the most important one that brings the most revenue is ShipFast. The revenue almost doubled this month, making about $75,000 in the last 30 days. This is my Stripe dashboard, but I also collect payment from other sources like PayPal. I guess the revenue doubled because YouTube picked up my video and decided to put it on the homepage. So that increased the number of visitors and eventually the revenue. And the revenue for my other products like UniPage or ByDispute is pretty steady. I barely don't do any marketing for them, so I don't expect it to change much. I'm happy the way it is because it's solving my own itches and I just like it this way. My YouTube channel got monetized back in February this year. Back then I made $50 and this month it grew significantly. We're sitting now at about $800 for this month, and this is pretty nice. That would literally pay for my villa here in Bali. Okay, so that was for the money in. Now let's talk about the money out. For business expenses, I spend about $4,000 a month for everything, plus 3.5% goes to Stripe to process payments. There is about $300 that goes for the tech stack, so my newsletter, affiliate program, servers, database, and all that. $700 goes to affiliate, people who like my product and market them in exchange of a commission. I also spend about $1,000 in ads. I'm not very good with ads. A friend of mine, Nico, is helping me with it, and usually $1,000 in would bring $2,000 to $3,000 out. And I also spent about $2,000 to outsource a few tasks like the video editing right now. I also lost one income stream. It's VirallyBot. It's a little software that I created back in 2018 when I started my first solopreneur project the wrong way. Everything was tough back then. I abandoned the product in 2020 and it kept making money until this month where the last customer churned. It was a $200 per month subscription. So yeah, that hurts. It's the end of a passive income era and it was a good time. And for personal expenses, my wife and I rent this place for about $800 per month. And we spend, I think in total, about $2,000 for basic stuff like food. We don't like buying physical stuff. We sometimes go to a good restaurants, but we barely don't spend anything. I think my most addictive thing is coding apps, and luckily that is free. All right, and just one more thing, my YouTube channel recently popped up, and if you look at my previous videos, it looks like I am doing some kind of overnight success, making $50,000 a month. I want you to know that it took 2.5 years starting from zero to get here. I have been struggling a lot, finding motivation to get things done, and sometimes even questioning my entire work, thinking that it's absolutely useless. And if you actually dig deeper in my story, you'll see that I have been in the game for about 6 years, not very seriously at the beginning, but I've tried a bunch of stuff, felt a lot of stuff, really a lot of stuff. Yeah, this is not an overnight success, but I hope this shows you that if you stick to something and you show up daily, then you will get good results. All right, that was it. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. That would really means a lot. All right, cheers.